this is Payne-Young, and welcome back to another episode of Climate Jobs. Today we're going to be speaking to Lena Thrush, who works for a renewable energy company. Hello, welcome to my podcast.
Thank you.
I have a couple of questions for you.
Okay.
What is your job?
My job is interpreting environmental policy for a renewable energy company.
How does your work impact climate change?
So I work for a utility company, a large utility company that develops wind and solar farms in order to use renewable energy, which would replace coal-fired generating stations.
That's awesome. What would a day in your job be like?
A day in my job, well, about 80% of my job is to just be in meetings and understand what's going on a project site. Each of my projects is in different stages, so some of them are just beginning. So we're just beginning to look at sites that, maybe they have a lot of wetlands, or maybe they are near a landfill. So I have to tell the people I work with about that, and some of them are a little further along, and this would be, field sites or field visits have already happened. So they've already delineated all the waters on site or all the landfills or whatever may be on the property. And so I have to make sure we're going through an environmental process to evaluate that and get particular permits. Then some of mine are also at construction, so we have to make sure that we comply with all environmental permits that we've received, and so I have to check on that also.
Why did you choose to do the job that you do?
Because I wanted to work with renewables, and I thought the best way in order to help with doing that would be to do what I've been doing the last 20 years in the private sector and for the Corps of Engineers, and decided to do it for a utility company, which I would be, sitting right there at the seat of the main industry that was in charge of putting renewables in the ground.
That's great. Are there any steps that young people can take to get a job like you have?
Any steps? First is college. Well, I would finish high school first, and then I went to school and received a bachelor's degree in political science, and then I also went for a master's degree in forestry, where I specialized in wetlands and streams. But I worked for both the public sector, working for the Corps of Engineers as a permit regulator, and I worked for the private sector as a consultant. So I helped different industries receive their environmental permits, and I did that for about 20 years before I got the job. So between schooling and experience, those are the two main things.
Thank you for being on my podcast.
Thank you so much for listening today, and remember, you can make a difference.